Shruti, stay on with me. Let's also take in the statement of US Ambassador to India Sergio Gor. He said that the Quad foreign ministers meeting delivers strong concrete results, from enhanced maritime security to new initiatives on maritime security, port infrastructure, critical minerals and energy resilience. According to Gor, here are the top deliverables from the round of Quad cooperation maritime security. The Quad foreign ministers meeting advanced major maritime security initiatives, new initiatives on maritime surveillance, domain awareness and Coast Guard coordination will strengthen regional security, improve information sharing and support a free and open Indo-Pacific. Now, on port infrastructure, he said a big step for Pacific Islands. Quad partners will collaborate with Fiji to advance critical port infrastructure, the first joint Quad project of its kind in the region. Critical minerals deliverable Quad partners also announced on critical minerals. The framework will strengthen supply chains in mining, processing and recycling. Coordination across the Quad helps reduce vulnerabilities and supports long-term economic security. Energy and fuel security, on that he said it is national security. The Quad's new Indo-Pacific Energy Security Initiative expands cooperation on technology, energy resilience and emergency preparedness to support a more stable and secure region. All right, let's first go to Brian to get more updates on Sergio Gor's statement. Brian.
Kirti, clearly, the one person who was the most optimistic about Marco Rubio's US Secretary's visit was obviously Ambassador Sergio Gor. And when you hear, when you see all of the tweets made in a couple of days, you could see the optimism of Sergio Gor. And this also reflected after the Quad Summit, where he spoke about the deliverables that happened, obviously focusing on maritime cooperation, the expansion of maritime cooperation, also to the fact that just a while back we were talking about how Fiji will be playing an important role in the first time of a joint Quad port infrastructure that will be taking place, how energy security, securing energy is the national security. So clearly there have been many such topics, conversations that reflected after Quad, and Sergio Gor also highlighted, talking about many such deliverables, first being the maritime cooperation, maritime strengthening, maritime security, the port and infrastructure, critical energy, critical minerals, how critical energy and resourcing and sourcing energy would be most important, and it is not just anything else but a matter of national security. So clearly an optimism reflected from Ambassador Sergio Gor's statement that reflected just after Quad. Yes.
Right, Brian, thank you for joining us. Stay on with me once again. Shruti, I want to come back to you. Firstly, there are some people who are raising questions on the relevance of Quad. Do you think those questions are baseless? And if so, what can Quad really do to keep itself relevant?
From a basic point of how Quad was treated by Trump after coming to power. Despite declaring China as America's #1 enemy in their national security document, the Quad was not placed at a high up level. This particular meeting is probably the reset button where after the visit to China and their realization that the dragon has not been humbled by whatever weaponization of trade and tariffs that were happening, or choking off of energy supplies via Venezuela and Iran to China was supposed to be done. So it's not humbled. In fact, it is quite ready to grumble, which is where we went with the Taiwan issue. And so Quad has now, this particular meeting has been given a new breath of oxygen by Marco Rubio's visit and the active conversations that are happening. It might have been not as relevant in Trump's or even USA's plan, let's say 6 months ago, but today it stands at #1 position because the initial idea of Quad was to contain China's expansionist plan in the South China Sea. And by ensuring all these wonderful words with maritime security and all the other words that they're putting out, they are showing that they would be ready I believe there is one part where the Marco Rubio himself said that there should be immediately executable aspect to it, as in not whether the policies are implemented. If energy security is threatened or if a supply line is threatened, then there should be enough number of people responding as emergency responders to this within the Quad, which puts China in a zone which is not comfortable. That means the Quad has been actuated and they are ready to now counter any aggressive action by Chinese ships against Japan, against Taiwan, or in any other place in the South China Sea. So right now, anybody thinking that Quad is not so relevant, they would have been right 6 months ago, but not today. Today, it has been, the reset button has been effectively hit.
Right, Shruti, thank